Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sons de Carrilhões, or Sounds of Bells as it's known in English. This piece was composed by a composer known as João Pernambuco. And this piece is very significant for Brazilian repertoire because even though it was conceived in a kind of a popular style, popular environment, it made its way into the classical repertoire as well, in terms of classical guitar repertoire. And so it influenced a lot of other composers, including Villa-Lobos. And the style itself, the choro style, is one of the fathers of the Bossa Nova. So it's very interesting to study it and, understand the similarities between the styles. We're going to be taking a look at the harmony, the melody, then we're going to put it together into a solo arrangement, and we're going to have some backing tracks, so I hope you enjoy the lesson. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to our channel and leaving us a thumbs up. You can drop us a comment if you like. We really appreciate that. And if you're interested in getting the backing tracks and the tabs, head over to our Patreon page. The link is in the description below. So let's get started. First things first, we're gonna drop the E string down to a D. This piece is in drop D tuning. The way that we're gonna play this piece is we have two sections, A and B. So we're going to play each section twice. So we're going to play twice the A section, then twice the B section, and then you can either play twice the A section again, or just once to end. First we're going to take a look at the chords, and then we're going to add the melody over that. Let me play you the first part with just the chords, and then I'm going to discuss with you the shapes after that. We're in a key of D major, and a lot of what I played is centered around the D major on the 7th fret, which is like a G shape. So I think of this shape as coming from a G major chord, like our usual G chord down on the 2nd fret in the open position, but it's shifted up all the way up to the 7th fret, to 7th position. So we're just using a half bar here and the open D, but a lot of it is centered around that. And that then becomes the D major 7th. And then we have a nice E minor chord. Then we go to A7, 13, resolving to a D6. So that progression is really nice. D, D major 7, E minor, A7, 13, down to a D6. And that happens in the first line. Then line 2, we're back to D6, back to E minor, A7, 13, resolving again to D6. So these are the first eight bars. Try playing along with the backing track, and you can add a little rhythm. You could even add a little bossa rhythm to it. So line 3 is exactly like line 1. Starting up here, down to the E minor, A7, 13, and then D6. The last line, what we have is a diminished arpeggio that sits out over this diminished chord. we're thinking of it as being a B7 flat 9. So it's nice to play that also as a B. So the way that I played when I was playing with the backing track, the first half of the bar I played a D sharp diminished, then a B7, which then resolves into an E minor. And then in the last two bars, there's a few more chords. We have this D6 over A, and then we have an E minor, A7, down to D, ending with a D up here. It's gonna sound like this. Now let's take a look at the melody. So the melody starts over the D major shape. We're gonna pluck the first string, the third, and the second, and then one more time the first, but this time then the fourth finger goes to the third. So we have the D major 7. So and then we're gonna play the 7th fret on the first string, and then 10th fret on the second string, 8th fret, and then open B. We're gonna climb up the second string, the next bit, goes 0, 2, 3, 7, and then do a little bar. We're gonna play the second string on the 5th fret, first string on the 5th fret, 7, and then open B again, open second. So that's the first 4 bars. So if we add then the harmony note, the harmony, it always happens in the inner part of the chord. The melody sits above the chord, and it has a fixed rhythm that sounds like this: boom, cha cha boom, cha cha boom, cha cha boom. It's a rhythmic figure that happens pretty much throughout the piece. The melody starts on a pickup bar, which means just before the start of the piece. So we're gonna play it like this. And then when we move to the 9th fret with the finger 3, we're gonna pluck the thumb. So we're gonna pluck the 6th string. So it's gonna sound like this. And then finger 2 and 3, we play the accompaniment. And then the 5th string open. So and the rest of the melody. And then the open B happens with the E on the 2nd fret of string 6. And then we're gonna put the rest of the E minor for the accompaniment. So then we're gonna climb up 0, 2, 3, down to 7 to play our A713. And the accompaniment is in string 4 and 3. One more time the bass. The 2nd string. Notice that I close in the bar here. I'm not playing the A7 just like that. I'm closing so I can have the 2nd string and the 1st string on the 5th fret. So and then we're into the D6. I'm gonna play the bass, the D bass with it, and then put the rest of the D. This whole bit sounds like this. So you could practice the rhythm before adding the melody. You could practice the rhythm with the chords that we had, playing the bass and the inner accompaniment like this. That might help breaking it down into steps. So that's the first line. Then the next line, we start with a D6, and we have this rather nice arpeggio. notes twice. So I'm playing the A, that's the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then 4th fret, 4th string, and I pull off. And then the bass D. So that's happened twice. And then we're gonna play 3 octaves that sound like this. So finger 1 and 2 on strings, they're both D open. If you play here on the 4th fret, they're F sharp, F, and E. So this bit sounds like this. And that's one of the characteristics of this piece. You have some chromatic passage. You know, we're playing a little chromatic line there. So the rest of that line, bar 7 and 8, we repeat the same climbing motion on the 2nd string up to the A7 13. Then close in the bar and play the open D and the open B together to give us the D6. Now we're in line 3, and that line is exactly like line 1. Then we're going into the final line. Just before the final line, we have that pull off again, just for once. And then we're going to have a diminished run, which is very nice to play. So it's finger 1 and 4 on the 4th string, finger 2 on the 3rd string, sliding up to the 5th fret, then finger 1 on the 4th fret, the 2nd string, and 4, finger 4 on the 7th fret, finger 1 on the 5th fret, 1st string, and finger 3 on the 7th fret. And we're going to do a little grace note that sounds like this. So you play the 5th fret, hammer on, and pull off. And then finger 4 on the 2nd string, 8th fret, then the open E, open B, open G, and then we're going to play the 2nd fret of the 4th string, 5th string, 2nd fret, 1st fret, and then open A, open 5th string. So it's going to sound like this. In terms of right hand, I'm playing a rest stroke. Up to that 8th fret on the 2nd string. And then the rest, I'm going to take a combination of ring, middle, index, thumb, 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 thumb. And then the final 2 bars, we're back to the D6, that's the D6 over A. We have the same figure, that same pull off. Then we play the E minor, A7, the partial D in the shape of C that we've seen before. And if you're playing it for the first time, we're going to repeat the A section. You play the open A, and then start again with the pickup line. So the final bar of line 4 would start with a D, then the open A, 5th string, and then the pickup melody that restarts the song. If this is the 2nd time that you're playing, or the last time, if you're going to either go into the B section or you're finishing the piece, we're going to play it like this. Play that D, the partial D in the C shape, and then just, you can roll the rest of the D in the 7th fret, ending the piece. Great. Now, let's take a look at the B section. Let me play the B section with just the chords, just like we did for the A section, and then we're going to talk about the chord shapes and learn the melody after that. So you've noticed that the second part, we have a modulation, we have a change of key. And we're in the key of G, so the subdominant of D. And we start with this shape here, like an E shape, but because of the drop D, we have to adjust the finger, and we're really, the root is with finger 3 on the 6th string on the 5th fret. So we have the G, and then a G augmented, which then leads to the A6, A minor 6 chord. And then we have a couple of D chords. This is a partial D7, so it's like an A7 shape, but we're not playing the 4th string. In fact, we're playing the 4th string open. That gives us this nice voicing. And then a D9 shape. Although we don't have a third here, this voicing doesn't have a third, we're still thinking of a D7 there. Which then resolves to a G. And I love this shape here because this is a C, a kind of a C shape, but it's a very partial C shape. We have the 4th finger on the 1st string on the 10th fret. It's a nice voicing. It's in a first inversion. Now the harmony at this point gets a little bit harder to hear because really when we play the piece, we're just playing single notes. We're gonna go from a G down to our D major shape, D major 7 that we've seen in section A, down to a B7 flat 13, to an E9, to an A7 13, and then to a D9 and a D7. So it's going to go from G, D major 7, D7 flat 13, to an E9, to an A7 13, to a D9 and a D. Although when we come to play it as a solo arrangement, we're going to have to make it a lot simpler for it to fit with the melody. So these are the first 2 lines of the B section. What comes next is an exact repeat of line 1. So we go from G augmented, down to an A minor 6, a D7, a D9, and a G. And then this time we're going to go into E, A minor over C, E flat major, G over D, D9, D7, and G. So when we come to play the chords with the melody, in the beginning of the B section is a lot more chordal. There's a lot more chords than we had in the A section. So we're going to start with that G, and the rhythm that we're going to play is going to sound like this. So G, and then the A minor 6, we're going to play the 5th string with the 2nd string on the 7th fret. And the accompaniment is the string 3 and 4. So then we're going to play the bass. And then you can keep this shape and just add your 4th finger on the 1st string. And we're going to play string fret 8 and fret 7. And then we play that partial D. So we're going to play the partial D with the bass on the 4th string. And then when we come to play the D9, we're going to play the bass on the 6th string. And then up to the G shape, the G chord rather, in the C shape. And then the inner notes are going to be on string 2 and 3. So this section sounds like this. And then we have a really nice arpeggio here, like a G6 arpeggio, starting on the 3rd, starting on the B. So it's on the 1st string we have fret 7, 12, 10, back to 7, and then string 2, fret 8, string 3, fret 7, and then we're going to play the open B and the open G. So it's a really nice arpeggio. And then we're going to play the open B again, back to the 7th fret on the 3rd string, and then we're going to play the 10th fret and a little ornament from 9 to 10. So play the note, hammer on, pull off. Then 7, 10 on the 2nd string, and we're going to run down chromatically. So 10, 9, 8, 7, and then the 5th fret on the 2nd string, 3rd string, 7th fret, and then we're going to play the bass A with the 2nd string on the 7th fret, and that's our A13. So much of what we played, the chords that we played with the backing track, we're not going to play if we're playing it a solo version. We're not going to play the B, the E9. It's nice to know the harmonic backdrop of this, but in this section here, we're just going to play single note. And then the only chord that we're going to play is the A, the 8, 7, 13. And here is quite similar to the A section. When we have the A7, 13, we're going to play the open A, then string 2 on the 5th fret, string 1, 5th fret, and then string 2 on the 7th, 5 with the bass, the 6th string. So it's going to sound like this. And we're back to the G. And then the line 3 is exactly like line 1. So if I play the 2nd line again, that's going to sound like this. Line 3 is exactly like line 1. We're gonna then start the arpeggio the same way up to the 10th fret on the 1st string, and then we're gonna go into the 2nd string, 12 and 9, and you can do a little pull off there. Then open E, then 3rd fret on the 2nd string, pull off again, and we're into that E shape, and then If you put down the A minor over C, we're just going to play an arpeggio, thumb, index, middle, and ring. A nice arpeggio. Then put the E flat shape down, E flat major. Same thing here, thumb, index, middle, and ring. And then again, we're going to do the same thing with the G over D. And then play the E9 with the 6th string bass. And then D7. So it's the finger 4 lets off, and then you play the finger 1. And this nice open G shape. Here, finger 1 on the 1st string, 3rd fret, finger 3 on the 6th string, 5th fret. The first time that we get to bar 16 of the B section, which is when we play that G, we're going to play that G. And we're going to play the D, the open D on the 4th string. And that lets us return to the first bar of the B section. So we do the repeat. We're going to play that twice. But the second time that we get to bar 16, we're just going to play that G. And then take the pickup line again that we played into the A section. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to play the piece slowly, and I'll count the bars. We start with the pickup line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then into the second bit we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then we're back to either the repeat of the B or back to the A section. Before we finish the lesson, I just wanted to show you one thing that you can do to make this a little bit more intuitive. So the way that I taught you the rhythm of the accompaniment part was a very straight, repetitive rhythm, chap, 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 just because it's easier to teach in that way. But you can change it around. You can have a little bit of fun with that rhythm. In fact, you can add a different rhythm. Boom cha cha boom cha cha boom. A little bit more syncopated, if you like. It becomes a little bit more fun. And in fact, you can change it around. You don't have to always play the same. And if you listen to the recording, there is a recording out there on YouTube of him playing this as a duet. And you'll hear that the rhythm it changes a lot. It's not always the same, and it's nice to just be a little bit more playful with it, a little bit more intuitive. So don't feel like you have to stick to one thing, unless of course you just picking it up, and in the beginning it's much easier to just keep it a fixed pattern until your fingers kind of learn the music. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If there's anything we missed, please let us know in the comments, and do subscribe to our channel if this is your first time here. Leave us a comment, drop us a like. We really appreciate that. And if you're looking for the backing tracks and the tabs, head over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/altguitar. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.